All right, Shalom. Before I get started, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash. Secondly, want to give double honors to the elders, apostles, the great millstone, who rule well and teach well, and who are the true leaders of Israel today. I also would like to give another shout out to the head of the Man of Israel account, the Ak Chazat, whom I teach under, down here in Greenville, South Carolina. And I also like to give another shout out to you, sincere Akim, you brothers out there that's pushing this truth in all sincerity and watch. Slakia, I want to give a shout out to you, sincere Akim, throughout the four corners of the earth that's pushing this truth in all sincerity and righteousness in these last days. And I also like to give another shout out to you, Israelite foreigners that's looking like the other heathen nations causing confusion, coming back to our heritage in these last days. And another quick shout out to you, few Outwath, you sisters out there that stand in order and do what y'all need to do in these latter days. To y'all, like to say Shalom. All right, and I'll come back through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem with another exaltation video. And as you can see by the heading, I'm going to do a quick lesson on the spirit of the prophets are subject to the prophets, right? Read that again. It says the spirit of the prophets are subject to the prophets. Basically going into, how, if you was a prophet, back in your old, life, your old reincarnation, right? You're going to come back in the reincarnation as a prophet, right? You're not going to come back as a wicked nigga, man. All right, so if the Lord had you as a prophet 2,000 years ago or whatever, whatever time you was prophesying, guess what? You're going to be doing the same thing, man. All right, because our spirits are commanded to do this. All right, if your spirit was commanded to be wicked, your spirit was commanded to be wicked. If your spirit was commanded to be righteous, your spirit is commanded to be righteous, right? So I'm going to just do a quick little lesson on this. I got the thought of this idea of watching the Elders Apostles camp, their recent camp live. If not, I believe, if it wasn't this camp, it was the last week camp. But all I remember me watching one of their camp videos, and they was basically going into a little, they were basically saying how, if you was a prophet back then, you a prophet now, right? And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do a video on that. And this basically reincarnation as well, So the first scripture I'm gonna get, I got the 4 precepts that I chose to get. I'm gonna get Jeremiah chapter 1 and verse 5. It's like it. Let me do this real quick. Make sure. All right. Jeremiah 1 and 5. Jeremiah chapter 1. All right. And Jeremiah 1 and 5 says, and this is the Lord talking to the prophet Jeremiah, right? This is Jeremiah 1 and 5 says, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee. And I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations, right? Now, this is not Ezekiel, it's like this is Jeremiah before, the Lord is basically saying, this was you was going to do before you was even born, man, right? It says before I formed, before he formed Jeremiah in the belly, this was him talking to Jeremiah, but we could also apply this to us as well and the other prophets and, everybody else. But it says, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. So before, before the Lord, formed Jeremiah in the belly, he already knew him in the spirit, you see, because we was always, we always was spirits first. It just put in, fleshly bodies, That's all it is, man. So it says, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. So the Lord already knew him because in the spirit, the Lord created his spirit. It says, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, see, before he even came out of his mama belly, right? It says, before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee. He sanctified him to do what? Let's get that word sanctified real quick. We're gonna get 2 words in that verse. In verse 5, we're gonna get 2 words and see what they mean. So it said, before I formed in the belly, right, I knew thee and I sanctified thee. Let's get that word sanctified.
Strong's H 6942. Kadash. Kadash. Second
Kadesh.
entry.
It's like you.
Kadesh.
Kodash.
Kadesh.
Sanctified. Yeah, but it says to concentrate, sanctify, prepare. That's really the only thing I need, to prepare. He prepared Jeremiah to do what before he came out? To prophesy. Let's get that. It said, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified, right? I sanctified, or, I prepared you, right? It says, I sanctified thee, or prepared thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nation. So the Lord sanctified him to do what he did before he even came out the womb. He already put it in Jeremiah to do what he had to do. It was just at a certain point in time where the Lord was gonna have the Spirit on him to do it. Just like me, speaking for myself, I came in truth. I came in truth 19 years ago. It's like not 19 years ago. I came in truth at the age of 19. No, yeah, I came in truth at the age of 19, right? And I'm right. I came in truth 19. Yep. So before I came in truth, I wasn't in truth. Before I came in truth, I wasn't in truth. But guess what? The Lord already had me sanctified to do what I was going to do. Right? It was just, it was just at a certain point in time where the Lord just put the Spirit on me to do what I had to do, man. Because, before I came in truth, I was walking around like a nigga. But I was already sanctified to do what I had to do. It was just on the Lord's timing, man. That's the word I wanted to use, on the Lord's time. That's the time we was on. Like I said, for Jeremiah didn't, automatically when he was born, he did, he prophesied. No, he had to grow up. And then the Lord put the Spirit on him because it was already ordained before he even came out the womb. It was just on the Lord's time whenever he wanted him to do it. Man, matter of fact, prime example, Paul. Paul was a nigga, man. Paul was killing, the believers, man. He was killing the church, man. But guess what? The Lord put the Spirit on him to see what he did was wrong and to be, the leader of the Gentiles, man. To teach the Gentiles. And Paul got the most written books in the so-called New Testament, man. But it was all on the Lord's timing for the Lord to put the Spirit on him. But he was already sanctified to do what he had to do. So it says, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. Right? Let's get that word ordained. Yep.
Strong's H 5414. Nathan.
Right, it says to give, put, set. So the Lord put us in this position, man. The Lord put us, to be a prophet amongst the nations, man. This was the Lord. This wasn't just us. We didn't ask the Lord, hey, Lord, can you please make me a prophet? No, this was of his own will, man. And we give big praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, for giving us this truth, man. Because, you leave it to us. We don't deserve it. But, just because who we are in the spirit, who we may be in the spirit, the Lord gave it to us, man. And like I said, man, the water, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, man, for this truth. This truth is all we got. This is the only thing we own on this side. The scriptures, the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh. That's the only thing we own, man. On this side, man. And they trying to take that away. By trying to interrupt the God gene. Right? They want to take everything away from us, man. They want to leave us, without shit, man. But that's the devil for you, man. That's the fucking devil for you, man. So yeah, the Lord, he ordained us to be a prophet, man. Like I said, man, he ordained Jeremiah to be a prophet before he was even formed in the belly. Why? Because more than likely, which ain't no more than likely, it is likely, he was a prophet back then. So he just had to come back. And this time right here, do it all over again, and also, in the next lifetime, So we're done with that precept. Let's get Daniel chapter 12 and verse 9. Daniel. It's the book of Daniel chapter 12, and I'm going to start at verse 8. The point is in verse 9, though. Daniel 12 and 8, it says, "And I heard, but I understood not. Then said I, O my Lord, what should be the end of these things?" Verse 9, the point, it says, "And he said, Go thy way, Daniel." Shalakia. "And he said, Go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed to the times of the end." Hold up, Shalakia. Damn, this ain't it. Oh, okay, yeah, I see it. Never mind. It's actually in verse 13. That's where we at. Okay, yeah. Daniel 12 and 13 says, But go thou thy way to the end be, for thou shalt rest," right? Thou shalt rest, meaning he was going to go back into the spirit world, right? "And stand in thy light at the end of the day." So at the end, in the end days, which we are in now. What the fuck? Oh, man, these cats having sex. Oh, shit. Salakia, man. I just never seen two cats, busting down, man. That kind of, threw me off. Salakia, man. That, hey, man, I ain't never seen two cats mates before, man. So, that I'm 22 years old, I'm still young, but for me to be 22 years old and ain't seen two cats, not saying, we get turned on by it, but, it kind of was like, damn, you never seen it. So, it's Salakia, man. I would say you throw a little distraction, man. But Daniel 12 and 13, it's a lot, man, It says, "But go thy way to the end be." Right? He's telling Daniel, go thy way to the end be, right? The end times, right? "For thou shalt rest," meaning you was going to go back into the spirit world, right? "And stand in thy light at the end of the day." So the Lord said Daniel was going to stand in his light in the end times, man. Which the end times, we living in now, is now. We living in the end times now. So the Lord said Daniel was going to come back and stand in his light. Just like how we had to stand in our light. Lord willing, we man of the Lord. But we standing back in our lights, man, doing what we got to do. Our lights is going to stay the same, man. It's never going to change, man. If your light 2,000 years ago was a wicked nigga, like I said, man, guess what? You're going to come back as a wicked nigga. Or if you was a prophet, guess what? You're going to come back as a prophet, right? So it says, "But go down thy way to the end be, for thou shalt rest and stand in thy light at the end of the day." So Daniel was going to come back and prophesy as well. And me personally, I feel like Daniel is John the Revelator, man. Just about, the visions they got, they was getting very sick, So, I mean, I could be wrong, but, I just feel like Daniel would be, Daniel is heavy in the spirit. We know that he used to be somebody big, more than likely, the 12 disciples, them ain't just any regular man. Those are top-notch man. Those are the 12. So, Daniel, like I said, Daniel was, somebody heavy before the 12, man. So that could be Daniel standing back in his light as John the Revelator. Now, like I said, I'm not saying that, he is or, whatnot, but, if I had to take a guess, that would be my guess, man. Salakia. But yeah, that would be my guess, man. That would truly be my guess. So we done with that. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 14:32. 1 Corinthians 14 and verse 32. Yep. 1 Corinthians 14 and verse 32. It says, in the spirits, right? We all spirits, man. It says in the spirits, it's like it says in the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. You see, so the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. So if you was a spirit back, meaning if you was a spirit, not a spirit, meaning if you was a prophet back then, guess what? You're going to be a prophet today. If you was a wicked nigga back then, you're going to be a wicked nigga today. If you was an athlete back then, you're going to be an athlete today. If you was a musician, guess what? You're going to be a musician today. If you was a painter, you're going to be a painter today. Anything like that, man. If you was a slave, more like you're going to be a slave again. You know, if you were born with a disease, 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to be born with that disease again. You know, so whatever the Lord had your lot was back then, yeah, you're going to come back and play that same lot over again, man. You know, except for the Judas Iscariot lot, of course, man. You know, that was just, you know, a one-time thing. But, like, I'm talking about, like, a, you know, something like a prophet, a wicked nigga, you know, a scoffer, something like that. They're going to return back into their lots. Or a helpmate, they're going to return back to their lots and do the same thing. If you was a whore back then, you're going to more than likely be a whore today, you know. So it says, the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets, man. So the spirit, your spirit as a prophet is going to be, guess what, going into, it's like, if your spirit was a prophet 2,000 years ago, guess what, in your new body, that spirit, you're going to have that same spirit in that new body, man. You know, like I said, we hoping to, you know, have been a prophet back then, man. Lord willing, we weren't no fucking scoffer back then. And, man, I told the brother, Aliyah, I told him, man, if I am a 2/3, I pray I wasn't one of them niggas that, you know, that spit on Yahweh shot, man. You know, and was, you know, was scoffing at him and stuff. I pray I wasn't one of them. You know, if I had to stand in my lot, I pray that wasn't my lot, man. Baba Kashan, man. And that's just me humbly saying that, man. If I am a 2/3, I'm just hoping I'm not, you know, that particular 2/3, you know, playing out that lot. No, but please, Baba Kashan. So let's get one more. We'll close this thing out. Revelations 10 and 11. I'm going to start at verse 10. Revelations 10 and 11, it says, and I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up. And it was, and what do you mean by he didn't literally took the actual damn the scripture or whatever you wanted to call it. You know, he didn't take an actual book and swallow it. No, he ate the words from it, man. You know, he ate up this truth. You know, this truth is like food to us, man. This is spiritual food to us, man. So that's what he mean when he ate it up. Meaning he ate everything up. Meaning he didn't leave nothing, you know, behind. He ate everything that was on the plate. All the words that was written in the book, he took heed to them, man. It says, and I took the little book out of the angel's hand. And like I said, that little book represents the Bible. Of course, not no other book. And it's not actually, like I said, it's not talking about a literal, you know, Bible. You know, it just, you know, saying the book that he ate up, you know, that he took in was the scriptures, man. It says, and it was in my mouth sweet as honey. And as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter. Yeah, some things in this truth are going to be sweet and some things are going to be bitter, right? Like, for example, some things that are sweet is knowing that you're an Israelite, knowing that the Lord look like you, you know, you're going to have slaves. But the bitter part is, you know, going through trials and tribulations, you know, even paying tithes, that might be that's a burden to certain brothers. You know, having to go out to the highways and byways, doing videos, those things could be considered, you know, bitter. It ain't pleasing, man. You know. Verse 11, the point, it says, and he said unto me, thou must prophesy again before many people and nations and tongues and kings, man. And that's talking about now over here in the Americas, because this was during the times of the Romans, man. This was in the times of you know, John the Revelator being on the island of Patmos, man. Right? And like it said, he said unto me, thou must prophesy again before many people, nations, tongues, and kings. And there's no account of John the Revelator leaving the island of Patmos to prophesy again. You know? It's to believe that he died over there on the island of Patmos, man. Like I said, there's no account of him prophesying again. There's no other scripture that said, okay, after John left the Roman Empire and died on the island of Patmos or whatever, or he was delivered from the island of Patmos, he prophesied again. You would not find that in the scriptures, man. Why not? Because that was talking about now over here in the Americas, he had to come and prophesy again. And like I said, we believe that starting with our elders apostles to have been, well, I'm not going to say that, but if I'm not mistaken, they did say they believe High Priest Ariah to be John the Revelator, man. You know. So yeah, man, that's pretty much all I had. You know, I just wanted to go into how, you know, the Lord was gonna, you know, bring us back as being a prophet, you know, because the spirit of the prophets are subject to the prophets. So, you know, you was a prophet back then, you're going to continue to prophesy to the Lord, you know, redeem us out of this captivity. No matter how many times we got to do it over and over and over again, we're going to continue to do it continually, man. You know, without, you know, getting mad. Oh, Lord, you always got me coming back as a prophet. Let me come back as a rich 2/3 nigga. You know, let me come back as a big time, you know, millionaire. You know, I'm tired of being a prophet, man. No, we're going to continue to do this because we love to do it. Our spirit love to do it, man. So, yeah, man, that's pretty much all I had. Yahweh Ratazah, this video was edifying. And we're going to close it out with giving all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechak Wadash. Shalom till next time. Shalom.